Did you have a job during the Depression?
Well, I worked on a farm, a family farm, and the only outside work we had is thrashing time.
So your whole family worked?
Well, we'd get 50 cents an hour for thrashing, and that amounted to about $5 for a 10-hour day. And we were glad to get that because money was so scarce. And we'd go on Saturday night and maybe buy a bag of peanuts for 5 cents, ice cream cone for 5 cents, and just take in the town. But haircuts were like 25 cents. Barber would operate right out of his home, and well, the uptown barbers would charge probably $1.50. But there was a big business in home barbering. You know, when I mentioned the price of peanuts, you could buy a bag of roasted peanuts, a pound, for 5 cents. So $10 went a long way. But I'm out of steam now. It's next. Oh, on the gas? Yeah, well, see, the Model T Ford was quite a popular car. You could get a sport roadster for $375.
That was a lot of money back then, though.
Well, people weren't sporting around very much. Gasoline at about, any place, 15, 16 cents a gallon was about the going price. And the cars were, well, quite ancient. Okay, next.
Did the government make jobs for the people?
Well,
to provide you with?
The government didn't come into the program until early 30s. WPA, Public Works Administration, they just made jobs cleaning up ditches, well, just general labor, and that's what a lot of people had for a job. If you had a better job, you'd you know, it wouldn't come too easy. But, well, the Public Works went on for quite a while. I don't know, in 1937, the people at the steel mill were kind of busy. The government started building battleships that took 5, 6 years to build, and they more or less cut down the federal relief money to different communities. But everyone was aware of the war coming on, and it was kind of a boost in the labor market.
Did you have any money in the bank? Did you have a
Well,
savings account?
the money that people stashed away in a bank was pretty much, you know, just held for emergency. There wasn't too much money available. And if anyone, like the housewife, would, if she sold any of the garden stuff and chickens, eggs, that was something that they kind of hoarded, just a few dollars, but that's went a long way.
Were you able to obtain loans from the bank?
Well, people weren't too interested in that. The only people that I know of that got loans from the bank would be when they bought a house. But, well, like the one family bought a real nice house and fantastic price of $7,900. And then the times being so tough, they had a hard time making the payments, and a lot of houses were repossessed by the bank, and they were sold at a discount. But outside of real estate, there was very little bank loans. Okay.
What was the average salary, like minimum wage?
There was none. I know that when times were real good before the bank crash, the fellow was boasting that he was making $90 a week. And all of a sudden, there was no job. And he was out, well, more or less, walking the streets and looking for day-to-day job. He hit pretty hard. Next.
Did you lose any friends or family members during the Depression? Like, did any friends of yours die of starvation or
I can't quite hear that.
Did any family members or friends that you knew of during the Depression die that you were aware of?
No, not really.
No.
We lived pretty close to what we had. Well, seemed to be able to get along pretty well. We had, after the war, there was a flu epidemic similar to what we have now, but a lot of people died. There wasn't the medical possibility of getting preventive medication like flu shots today.
Could people afford to maintain their health, or was?
Well, they did the best they could. They had to. Well, they weren't splurging in any sense of the word. They just did what they had to.
Right.
Tried their best to make out.
Okay. How old were you then? How old were you during the Depression?
Well, I was born in 1910,
so you're 19.
so I was 23 years old when, well, I got out of high school in 1929.
And that's when it started then.
Some of the people, or some of my friends, went to work for Western Electric, and well, they wanted me to join them. Well, it was too much farm work. I finally left the farm in January and got a job at Western Electric locally. That was more like $20 a week. 40-hour week or 45-hour week.
What was your home life like? Was your family financially stable, or?
Well, with the farm, there was always enough garden stuff grown.
To live on.
You know, potatoes and chickens and eggs. That we were never at a starving point. Well, I don't think that starving.
Did the Depression teach you the value of the dollar?
Well, I don't know if you were put it that way. You just hung on to every dollar you could get a hold of.
It wasn't like now where now so many people worry about materialistic needs and what they need, where then they didn't. They just got what they needed. It's a lot different now, wouldn't you say? Or
You just live pretty much from day to day, hand to mouth. And
it teaches
there
you.
was no evidence of anyone making very much money on any outside jobs.
Did the Depression affect your education at all? You were already educated when it
Well,
started then, right? You said you graduated.
I don't think it affected most people. In my case, I had to stay home quite a bit during the fall and spring to help out on the farm. But I paid attention in class, so I passed.
Oh, good. What were sources of entertainment? What did you do as the night of fun, or like how we would go to the movies or something like that? Would you do that,
Well,
or would you just
we
mostly?
very seldom went to a movie. It was a couple of miles into town, and but the only thing we had was to listen to the radio, and that didn't come in till what? The radio was kind of came in towards the end of my high school. Before that, my people, or the fellows that had radio, we'd get together on a Sunday and listen to the radio. And, that was about the limit of outside entertainment. There were high school kids that would go to a dance every week. It's about how much entertainment there was. The movies were pretty much for the city kids.
How has the Depression affected your present day life? Are you really careful of what you buy now, or are you afraid of another depression occurring?
Well, it made me kind of a stingy guy because, you watched your money so close, you didn't want to pay any high prices for anything you bought. I wore out shoes pretty fast. I did my own shoe repairing. I put what I put together. You just, plus the fact that, most of my early years I walked barefoot all summer long. When I had to do heavier work and work shoes, I was pretty hard on the shoes. Tried to keep repairing them. Okay.
Do you see any signs of the U.S. going into another depression soon, in the near future?
Well,
or?
It's really too big of a question. The country has been going overboard on spending, the billions that are in deficit. It just seems to be leading to a bankruptcy. aren't able to pay off all those billions in taxes. Taxes are going up. That doesn't seem to help. They still spending big money. And, it's pretty hard to tell where it'll end up. The bankrupt nation.
Any other comments that you'd like to add?
Pardon?
Any other comments?
I don't think I can add too much.
You cover pretty much everything that you were aware of.
Well, the price of a car, $300 compared to $30,000 today. They weren't complicated or anything. There's a world of difference in everything around today.
Okay, this has been Bernard Bash. We'd like to thank you for allowing us to do this interview.
Well, to enlighten you on anything, I'm glad to.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.